Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is JayLeesCorner. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope all the mothers had a great Mother's Day. I am happy that my mama is back in town after being on vacation, child. We sent her on a cruise, so she came back today. Welcome back, mama. Okay? Look, child, the Diddy trial. Okay, I feel like because this trial is supposed to last they said about 6 to 8 weeks. This is going to be an everyday little breakdown, okay, of whatever happened in the trial. We can read the tweets from the reporters in the case just so that we are aware. Because again, for these federal cases, the federal cases, they don't allow cameras in there, so we got to rely on the tweets of it all, okay? But look, y'all make sure to go watch the content. I reviewed the Housewives of Atlanta. That is up on my channel and everything. And then I also did a little live yesterday. So go watch that. But today we here for basic Diddy did it. Okay, Diddy did it all. Okay, the trial details. We have an update in the Tory Lanez prison stabbing. Okay. We have a snippet of Nene and Tamar still being obsessed with Candy. I don't get how anybody around here don't talk to somebody, but always talk about somebody. That's like obsessive. Okay. Anyway, y'all, again, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff. Hi. Okay. Look, it has been a good long day, a good old Monday and everything like that. So I want to go ahead and get into, because I was going to like screenshot all the tweets and then put them all together in order and have no, because I was like, oh, it's a whole bunch of information. It's a whole bunch of conversation. It's a whole play by play. Because I was following Inner City Press, who was literally in the courtroom, child tweeting the whole conversation of what happened. So that is what we have to do today. Okay. So thank you if you're here live. Thank you, girl. Thank you to those who end up watching the replay and everything like that. Okay. So hey to y'all, how y'all doing? I hope everyone had a great Monday. I did. Okay, and we're gonna have a good time around here. But hello to y'all. Okay, hello to y'all. Hello to y'all. I'll be trying to be funny, child. And my shade do come out of the blue. I don't be thinking it. I don't be trying to be shady. I promise y'all I don't be trying to be shady. And then it be slipping out. I be talking and then I'll say something and I'm like, ooh, I wasn't trying to be shady, but it happened. So again, I appreciate y'all knowing that I sometimes, I be playing. I be playing. But yeah, let's get started. We don't have time trying to wait for nobody else to get here. Again, watch the replay and let that be that. Now, let me share my screen. Hold on. Okay. Then on my thumbnail, I thought who I want to put on my thumbnail. And I'm like, it's really about Diddy and Tory. Okay. Because I don't want to summarize stuff. I want to read what they said so everyone has a clear understanding of what some people said. Okay. Now I saved a couple of things. Just a couple of things on IG, okay, just to give us a good little 20-odd minute of conversation and stuff and whatnot and not. And I said, yeah, okay, is the right button? Girl, I gotta make sure I'm pushing the right buttons because I don't be doing it. Okay, so okay, thank you all to those who are popping in. Okay, we appreciate it. How are y'all doing? It's like that. Okay. After your commentary by Bishop Robbie. Child, look, and this is the thing. I am fully aware that the Diddy situation is very, very serious. I am perfectly aware that Tory Lanez been stabbed. Look, but I have to make things funny because if not, then what we gonna do? Okay, I find the funny in it all. Okay, so we gonna get into it. Okay, but hey, hi, hello everyone. Hello. Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, how y'all doing today? Okay, and y'all heard my mouth. Make sure to like it. Okay, to like it. Anyway, why is Benzino always around here without no shirt on? Does anybody know why? I don't understand it. Now, Benzino wants to fight 50 Cent. I don't know why. I guess for some money.
Get in the ring, and I'll beat your ass, Curtis. Yeah, me and you could get in the ring for that money. 3 rounds. I'll whoop you. You big and sloppy and too stiff, and I don't believe all that Golden Glove shit. All right, we gonna put that to the side. Mayweather, holla at me.
Mayweather.
Believe me.
Somebody go to a Benzino. It ain't that serious. Okay, somebody say, first of all, I don't want to see 2 old men boxing. That's not my cup of tea at all. But I need Benzino to stop coming around here with his shirt off because it's like, who you trying to impress? What is going on? Secondly, why you still beefing with 50 Cent? Girl, boy, man, girl, whatever, leave it be. We don't want to see it. Leave it alone. 50 Cent ain't gonna box you. I don't even think it.
I'll be his Huckleberry. How the fuck could I snitch when he was the first one that called him and said that the first one before any statement that I made anything, he said he shot me. Let's make that clear.
Y'all fussing over an old shooting. Child, look, you got shot, he got shot, y'all both living, your shirt is off. We're gonna move on. We don't care no more. Leave it alone, okay? Speaking of leaving things alone, Shannon Sharpe was around here on his podcast, him and Ocho, on a little nightcap. And while they were discussing Shador's situation, Shador went to? Did he go to Boston? No. What is Shador went to the Bears? No. Whoever Shador went to, okay, the team that done the Cleveland Browns. I remember because it's like the cartoon show. Shador went to the Cleveland Browns. So while discussing that, he kind of spoke on his own stuff because he getting sued, child, for the little white girl he was banging on.
Your job is not to prove somebody wrong. It's your job to prove yourself right. And if you prove yourself right in the process of proving you right, you'll prove them wrong.
Because sometimes I'm right, but sometimes I'm wrong. But if I'm wrong, I'm still right because I could have been right, even if I was wrong. Is how I heard him say that.
And that's the thing that you have to learn, and it's been a process. Stop worrying about what people that don't know you think.
I think a lot of people have.
Stop worrying about that, because Ocho, you heard me say this. All I want people to love. I just need the people that I love to love me.
Come on now.
See, you trying to and obviously the elephant is not in the room. He outside, but everybody knows what I'm going through. A lot of people have a lot to say, but as my brother been calling me, a lot of people, and thank you everybody that's reached out and the thoughts and prayers. I sincerely appreciate that. But when you think about it, Ocho, man, 50% of the people don't care that you got problems.
Okay.
The other 50% glad you got them.
Really?
Come on, Pastor.
So now what?
Pastor? Take your time.
Now, first of all, sir, no one care about your stuff because you was messing with little 19-year-old person, little Caucasianites around here, and the Caucasianites got you caught up in some mess. So it's not that people don't care that you have problems. It's the point that you laying in the bed you made with the teenager you laid down with. That's on you, sir. Okay? And if you didn't care about proving anybody else right, why you offer her $10 million to not say nothing? Sir, go ahead to court, get it figured out, leave us out the group chat. Okay? Speaking of out the group chat, now I feel like I'm never aware of what Lil Wayne doing. I feel like Lil Wayne is a celebrity, but he's not a celebrity. He's somebody off in the cuff doing other things that we don't even care about or whatever. But allegedly, he had this girl right here, Denise, is it Bidot? I don't know. But she said he kicked me out. He kicked me out on Mother's Day. Is you his mama? Is you his kid's mama? I mean, if he kicks you out on Mother's Day, that's not really bad if you not a mother of one of his children.
He literally kicked me and my daughter out.
She okay.
On Mother's Day today. And I am just recovering from surgery. I am 5 weeks out from a full mommy makeover. I can't even lift boxes. What this man has is assistants and people coming to help kick us out today.
Now she said I am 5 weeks post-op from a mommy makeover from the daughter next to you, because that girl is a teenager. Okay, she's a teenager. You know what I'm saying? And did you have one of Lil Wayne's babies? Maybe he does no longer want a surgical patient at the house. I'm not sure. I also feel like, ma'am, why you telling what we gonna do about that? We have never seen you, heard about you, don't know about you. What do you want us to do with information? We don't know you.
And broke up with me on Mother's Day through text. And her birthday's next weekend. And
I'm 5 weeks post-op. It's Mother's Day. My daughter's birthday next week, and Lil Wayne put us out. This is why you always need to have your own. Okay, now I know maybe she don't have no spare house sitting around here, but if your name ain't on the lease, ain't on the deed, okay, ain't on something there that proves you have residence there, you can't be upset. If you went and lived with Lil Wayne, rolled his weed, or did whatever with your daughter around there, and then 5 weeks post-op of a mommy makeover because there's a grown adult child next to you, okay? She not 2 or 7. Is she 17? Why you
leave to New York this week for all the Sports Illustrated press? When I tell you that I am absolutely unsure on how to even process my emotions, if y'all got lawyer recommendations, please.
A lawyer for what? Did you own the house? Did you pay the rent? A lawyer for what? We not gonna help you sue Lil Wayne. Even though I don't, Lil Wayne be aggravating me a lot. Okay. But man, a lawyer for what?
We send them because
what?
No, I don't. So Yeah, I know he has 2 girls being flown in today, and who knows how many plethora of girls he has.
So you knew about other women. So you are one of the women he did with. Okay, cool. If you are one of the women, you are aware of other women on the way. Ma'am, get out my face. Okay, that means you're not a girlfriend. You are one of the peoples he has around him for entertainment. Because I would never know my dude has two more coming. Not to my house.
I've been nothing but supportive to this man, loved him till the end of the fucking world, but Wayne, like, you literally flew me, uprooted me from New York City where I was living and brought me here for this bullshit. Like, that's crazy, you guys. Like, these men really be taking advantage. And it's not just the emotional abuse. Like, this man has actually laid a fucking hand on me. Like,
Oh, so okay. So he was physically abusive. So it just now became an issue. And y'all know I'm not supportive of anybody going through DV at all. But ma'am, don't come complaining to us about, oh, he put me out, oh, he was beating me up. If he would not have put you out, would we have known that? Would you have told us then? Or would you have stayed in the mansion with the Wayne of it all? Okay, get out my look. I don't like, he was beating me, right? But you stayed for it. So what do you want? You know, when I say we will help you, is it like, you know what? I want to escape. I do not want to be around this toxicness. Then maybe we'll give you Al Sharpe's number to call for some help. However, ma'am, you can't be upset because he put you out and now, oh, it's help me because I'm homeless. Go back to New York.
nah, nah. And I took it, you know what's crazy is they always say, like, we're so stupid for love. And I thought it was like a mistake. But, like, I know other women he's put his hands on. And
Not snitching on the other. Child, now she's snitching. So you watched him or you knew of him beating other women and you thought, oh, okay, cool. He ain't beating me. Then he beat you up too. And you still stayed around there until he put you out and your daughter out on Mother's Day after your post-op mommy makeover. Okay.
today, today, it's okay. We're about to go back to the house that we live in together with my fucking daughter.
Is that the mom? Is it because because she ain't mentioned no, she ain't mentioned no other kids. Okay, so I'm assuming the mommy makeover is from the birth of that child. I'm assuming because if he put you out, wouldn't there have had to be another baby? Like where's the other baby? So I'm assuming this is who the baby child. That's an adult.
And we're going to see what really goes down because this is absolutely crazy and a new low even for him.
So yeah, he put me out. He put my daughter out. He had new hoes flying in tomorrow. But I'm gonna go back and see what's up. Okay, when you get beat up again, ma'am, don't call me. Call 911. Okay. Look, sometimes we have to know. Call 911. Don't call Instagram Live. Okay. Look, this is a little tidbit. So we know Mike Hill. You know Mike Hill, who was married to Cynthia Bailey from Housewives of Atlanta. They were married and divorced and stuff. He got a new girlfriend. Okay, now he is dating. If you do not watch HGTV like I watch, okay, I watch HGTV. She is on. Well, she used to, no, she was on. Was it a own? It was a own building or renovation show she was on, but now she's the new co-host of Love It or List It. Okay, her and that white man because the British lady left, so now Paige is around there. So Mike has a new love, okay, of his life, love of my life. You are my friend. Okay, he don't, him and Cynthia divorced or whatever. This is new boo. Okay, now my thing is this. I feel like Mike had a history of like cheatation. For whatever reason, he and Cynthia did not work out. I also feel like him and Cynthia did not work out because of the long distance stuff. He was in LA, she was in Atlanta, whatever. I do feel like Mike wanted someone on the same coast as him who can put up with his shenanigans or whatever. And so yeah, they together. Okay, so I just thought to add it on. Okay, Cynthia's ex-husband has a new girlfriend. So yeah, and I like her. I do. I like her show. I don't know her, but her name was Paige. So I was like, oh, ain't that cute? Damn, I love you, the girl. Girl. And everybody wants the person to move on, but I feel like because we was like, what happened with Cynthia and Mike, and we don't know whatever happened or whatever. But now he was somebody else. I think she is too. She was that man who don't live here and stuff. So kudos to both Cynthia moving on and also to Mike moving on to other people. Okay, speaking of moving on, Kimora Lee Simmons is having a comeback to TV show or whatever. Kimora, who was Russell Simmons' ex-wife. She has a kid with Jaimin Hunsu. She had a kid with that white man who was scamming. She was Kim Porter's best friend. She was a help mother figure to the Combs twins. Okay, she's coming back to E. Okay, on E because she used to have a show years ago on E. Well, she's back. Okay, she's back, and it's a new little reality show with her and a couple of her. I guess the younger kids and maybe the daughter. I do wonder because if this is being filmed right now, you have to speak on the Diddy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because Kimora at some point was really a mother figure after Kim Porter passed away. Kim was helping with the girls, the Combs twins, the Delilah and Jesse are close to Kimora's sons. They all are in the same, you know what I'm saying, the same atmosphere. So I do wonder if she would touch on what's going on right now. There was rumors of her being on Beverly Hills Housewives. I kind of want her on there because I feel like she's not gonna hold no punches or whatever. She gonna cuss them out. So maybe it's good that she didn't go there. I don't know. But again, she's coming back to TV. If you care, the show will come on eventually. Okay, cool with that. Porsha. I had mentioned on my review because Porsha on the Housewives of Atlanta, she had a whole little Pampered by Porsha event that I'm on Pamper y'all and it's for y'all to feel good and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to tell y'all what colors. I told y'all in my review. Porsha wanted a photo shoot for her products. I would never pose in a picture with Porsha and her product because Porsha ain't shit. Okay. I need a contract. I need money. I need $2 or $20 or $1,000. I don't know. But I told y'all in my review, I said, watch, she gonna post them pictures as promo for her products. I was like, now she's the only face that looks, edited, filtered. Okay, now all the girls look great. Now she told them what colors to wear, and then she put them all in Pamper by Porsha little cameos or whatever. Child, look, I'm all for you have to do and you have to use what you got to get what you want. But I told her you can't trust Porsha. Okay, if I was Drew, hell, or Shamia or Angela, I would have said no. Y'all can pose. I don't want to do it. Okay. Anyway, that's a little tidbit for that. Lastly, before we get to the Diddy stuff, Nene has been trying her best to be consistent on YouTube, and I kept saying before, Nene has the reach because she's Nene Leakes. You know what I'm saying? She has a fan base and all that stuff. So there was no reason that she should have not been doing her own YouTube stuff all this time. However, the Nene Leakes show has a new person she's interviewing on Wednesday. Nene taped a whole bunch of stuff. And so that's premiering now.
Welcome to the Nene Leakes show. My friend, my neighbor, and an honorary Georgia peach, Miss Tamar Braxton.
I was like, the moment I found out Tamar will be her next person. I was like, ooh, they're gonna be loud and smacking and aggravating.
My neighbor in the house.
That was a good introduction, friend.
Yes, friend. Can we toast real quick with some of this tropical red?
Okay.
I just wake up one morning and Tamar had done totally unfollow me. So I'm so glad we get to set this straight because she unfollowed. Why?
I don't remember. So are you exclusive with the person you be dating most of the time?
Is that a bang? Y'all know I hate edge bangs. I think, look, put your edges back. Okay? Even if your hairline receding, we don't want like a little fade bang. It's like, no ma'am.
Y'all exclusive?
Well, would you sit down with Lonnie?
For
when you come from a family that large with
she was asking, would you sit and talk to Lonnie? I'm like, oh my God. You know, Tamar, who still doesn't like Lonnie Love from not the talk, what was it called? What was that show called? Not the talk. The Real. Okay. Girl, move on.
All of these sisters, is there one sister that's your favorite, or does your favorite switch and change?
It switches and changes. But Tony and I have always been like this though from birth.
We know, girl, you don't like Twanda. Y'all always beefing, so you switch between Tony and maybe Trina.
Did you fall out with Tiny?
Did I? No.
How was that transitioning from music to reality TV?
I knew that it was important to Black women that we see ourselves on TV.
Y'all were doing the beat.
Yeah.
Where the money at, girl?
I mean, God is good.
Okay, you and Candy, what's your problem?
I feel like, you know what? I feel like at some point when people be like, you know what? Don't ask me about this anymore. You know, Tammy said a long time ago, people can't ask me about basketball wives anymore because I've answered all the questions. It's old, so I don't want anyone asking me about anything old. Only ask me about new stuff. And I'm like, Nene, Tamar, we know Nene has a child obsession. An obsession. Okay, Nene has an obsession, dislike for Candy, and I'm like, her and Tamar together. I'm like, why even bring Candy up? You know what I'm saying? I feel like, girl, if you are blessed and highly favored, if you ain't talked to that girl or whatever, why even do that?
Candy, if you're watching it, and we know you're watching, the thing is this: we don't have an issue with you.
Who was we?
Okay, so here is the thing. No. I'm coming back on the Nene Leakes show because I'm coming to meet my man.
Oh, well, we can't.
Child, come out on Wednesday. I'm gonna have to watch it and review it for y'all or whatever, but they get on my nerves. Okay, they get on all of my nerves. Okay, now that was all of my little extra stuff. Okay, look, y'all take a good 30 seconds to like the video if you have not already, and then we will get into the Diddy of what. No, we'll do Tory Lanez and then Diddy. And here we are. Now look, child, I forgot. Cardi has finally stepped out with her man. My man. Now Cardi and Stefon Diggs is together. Okay, holding hands, front row at the Knicks game. Okay, you know he's an NFL player. Okay, NFL player. They were spotted together walking again. Look. Child, Offset, somebody go check on Offset. Okay, somebody go and be like, Offset, please don't flip out. We know you say that you love her and you want her to be happy, but please don't go over the edge, child. But kudos and congrats to Cardi B for going public. Because there were like little snapshots of them in New York during Met Gala. But this is the first time with them hand in hand together, out and about and stuff. And I'm like, we want her to be happy. okay? Because we don't want no more crash outs. We don't want no more crash outs. Anyway, Tory of the Lane. Look, the news child of Tory Lanez being stabbed. I was like, wait, what now? Because we know he in prison, right? We are fully aware that he's in prison. He was sentenced to 10 years or whatever. I know TMZ had posted a picture of him a couple of days ago of him with little friends in prison and whatnot. And so I said, was he stabbed? I said, what happened? Now, when I heard it, and it was per TMZ initially, and when they said, oh, he was stabbed and he was then taken to a hospital somewhere else, I said, oh, that must be bad. Because, most prisons have like an infirmary or whatever, like little stabs or whatever. But I said, it must be bad if he had to be taken elsewhere. So that was earlier today. Okay, on Tory's IG page, he posted up saying, not him, but his team. And you know what? Because his team said it, is it really true? They could be lying. Anyway, Tory page said Tory was stabbed 14 times. 14. I said, damn, bitch. Okay. 7 to the back, 4 to his torso, 2 to the back of his head, and 1 to the left side of his face. And I said, first of all, how many people stabbed him? Did he not fight back? Because 14 times is a lot. I thought, okay, maybe 2, 3, or whatever. 14 times. 14, I was like, damn, somebody tried to kill Tory. And it's not funny, but I promise you, I felt like, oh, it's going to be some little, like 2, 3 thing or whatever. 14, 7 to the back, 4 to torso, 2 to the back of his head. Which means was he stabbed in the shower? Because that means they came up behind him. Because if most of them, if 7 was to the back, and 2 was, so that means 9 of them was the back. So that means they snuck up on him and said, this is for whoever. Okay, you talk on now. No one has said a reason for the stabbing. They have not said if they found the people who stabbed him or whatever. We don't know, okay? But I said, Lord, 14, that is a lot. That is someone is upset with you. Okay? Someone is because they tried to kill him. Okay? So they said both of his lungs collapsed and he was placed on a breathing apparatus. He is now breathing on his own despite being in pain. He is talking normally, in good spirits, and deeply thankful to God that he is pulling through. He also wants to thank everyone for their continued support and prayers and support. Look, first of all, I was like, when I first heard the news, I said, well, I did. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the thing. Because I did a quick little 5-minute thing on it earlier. I do not, pray or hope or wish any ill will towards anybody except Code 45. You know what I'm saying? So I don't wish death on people at all. That's not my thing. But I promise you, when they said, I said, Tory, I said, that was me. I was like, I didn't have anything. I was like, okay, I mean, and I'm like, is he alive? He's alive. Okay, he lived. And I'm like, well, I guess it was fine. But I was like,
that's suspicious.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's weird.
Because 14 pokes, I mean, should do more. Okay. And I feel like because he has been such a aggravating troll ever since he shot Meg, all of the things he did, said, was acted. Again, I don't wish that man died, but I also was like, yep, okay. You know what I'm saying? Look, only God can make the decision and whatnot, but I didn't care. Okay, I did not. Now, I do feel like if they find out who did it, that person will probably have more like prison cred or whatever. Because I do feel like people don't like Tory. You know what I'm saying? I do feel like he talks and he's very obnoxious. And I think sometimes in prison, you have to sit down and shut up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes in prison, you have to sit down and just shut up. Because nobody walks up behind you and stab you 14 times for no good reason. Okay? You pissed the wrong people off, but God saved your life, child. And so it is what it is. I get his 2 lungs collapsed. Okay, cool. And that also probably means he'll be in the hospital for a while because collapsed lungs, take a minute to, heal or whatever. So he has a bit of a break because he'll be in the hospital. And then even once they send him back to prison, they may have to put him in the infirmary or whatever. But yeah, child, I mean, I guess he lived to see another day. Because I was hoping, child. I was like, I mean, he okay, but he survived. However, you know what I'm saying? I just be like, but he in prison, y'all.
I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
Well, okay, that's on you. Now, we're gonna let that man be. Okay, let's get to the Diddy of it all. Now, I feel like it was so much Diddy stuff. Okay, it was so much Diddy stuff because I'm trying to take off some of the Tory stuff. Okay, because I want to clear my screen. So day one of Diddy's trial. Okay, now that was showing the family come in there. We got his mama in that wig, child. With them, his mom was like 85. His mom was in her upper 80s. Child, making it to your 80s. You know what I'm saying? And then having to go to court because your son is up around here or racketeering and all these things. I could not imagine. You hear me? So the mama right there. We then see the daughters. So we see the Jesse. It's Jesse, Delilah, the Chance one, because the twins and the other daughter, they're all the same age because he was fucking around. Okay. We see Quincy around there. We see Christian, okay, and there's Justin. So all the kids, all the family show up. There was a separate picture where we see Misa. Misa is Christian's mama. Misa's the one that's suing Mary J. Blige. Now Misa got there. I said, Misa, why she using a walker? Okay. Misa came. That's also his other baby mama. That's Dana girl. Now Dana is the mama of the younger girl. The one's like, what's her name? Is her name Love? Who's a couple years old. So that's the newest baby girl. Can you imagine getting pregnant by Puffy, and then you think you set for life because he got all the monies, and then he gets arrested, a girl. So yeah, but I'm like, well, why is Misa? What's wrong, girl? You okay? Maybe she tired. Maybe it's a long walk from the house to the car, from the car to the courthouse, and I don't know. But I said, girl, she around here on the thing. I think it was like footage. I don't know, I have footage walking in. I don't know. But yeah, now we had that, right? Now, even Diddy in court. Now, y'all know there are no cameras allowed because it's federal court. You know what I'm saying? So all we have is the sketches. Now, I don't child these sketches. Now Diddy now has, gray hair. He gray haired out. You know what I'm saying? And he is, trying his best to be his best or whatever. I really need someone to sneak a camera phone in the court. Okay. I need to see Diddy like in real time. Okay. I need to see, because I want to see the greatness of it all. Now I feel like his team told him, hey, gray it on out. You know what I'm saying? Don't dye your hair, gray it on out so you look weaker. Okay, you're like an old man. You got all the gray or whatever. We don't want you to look like this old party dude or whatever. No, look like somebody's granddaddy. Okay, had a granddaddy look. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's the only reason that he round here, child, looking like our old Saint Nick. Okay, or little black Saint Nick and stuff. So all we really have are these sketches. Okay, we don't have anything else, and I wish we did. Okay, but we can't. Now, if he gets found innocent and he gets out, we'll see him then. If he gets found guilty, they'll end up having him do a mugshot, but I don't know. Okay, but let's get to the tweets now. Because let me show on the screen. Because again, there are no cameras allowed, child. Boom. Okay. Now I felt like I don't need to be on the camera. Y'all see me. I'm here. Okay. Y'all need to be able to see the tweets and stuff. Okay. I'll make it a whole little full of screen. Okay. Because at first I wanted to screenshot all this. I said, no, it's too much. It's too much to screenshot, y'all. All I can do is read from here. Okay, so I'm not on the screen. So if y'all talking, I can't see y'all talking. I gotta read the right thing. Okay, we're gonna get on now. Again, this is inner city press. Okay, and did I lose the show? Okay, so court started today at 10:17. Okay, yeah. An old black man. I couldn't possibly have had them playing with the baby oil. Okay. No, even if he don't have access in prison, they could have got him some dye for his hair while he was getting dressed, in between time, in the meantime. Because you are allowed to look presentable for the courts. Okay. Shall not PJs, the project. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway. We're gonna get to it. Okay. 10:17. Jurors are seated. If y'all can hear me, look, if y'all can hear me well, that's great. Okay, let's go. Judge name I can't pronounce. Okay, now the judge said, look, questions are not evidence, only the answers given by the witnesses and documents are evidence. Okay, you can consider circumstantial evidence. Okay, like if somebody walk in with a wet umbrella, you can assume it's wet outside. Okay, he said that the witnesses will have pseudonyms. Okay, block. No, I'm gonna do this part. Okay, okay. So A.U.S.A. Johnson. Okay, that is the prosecuting person who said this is Sean Combs. To the public, he was a cultured icon, a businessman, a larger than life. Okay, but there was a whole other side to him. You would hear about 20 years of crime, okay? And the team he had to help him, kidnapping, arson, drugs, sex crimes, okay? Let's start with one night. He was on the hunt for his girlfriend, Cassie. He forced her to have sex with male escorts while he watched and recorded. He found out Cassie was seeing another man. Furious, he set out to find Cassie and other man. He woke an employee to drive to the house, but no one was there. The defendant didn't give up. He kept looking for Cassie. When he found her, he beat her brutally, kicking her in the back and flinging her around like a rag doll, but it wasn't enough. He told Cassie he could release video of her having sex with male escorts. He broke into a man's house and he beat and blackmailed his girlfriend. These are not his only crimes. Cassie's not the only woman he beat and sexually exploited. 20 years of crimes. He had a business, Bad Boy Records, that made him right. He relied on his bodyguards, chief of staffs, who ran all aspects of his life. The group promoted his power. His bodyguard kidnapped an employee and set a car on fire. Dangled a person, okay, I think over the balcony. They delivered drugs whenever he said, including to women he forced to have sex with escorts. He transported them across the state lines, and y'all know that's illegal. Okay, he over the line, even out the country. Let me be very clear. This is a case. This case is not about a celebrity private sexual experience, girl. Private sexual preferences. This is a criminal. They're like, Diddy is a criminal. He need Jesus. He need prison. He need prison. He coerced and even used violence along of this trial. We'll focus on two women, Cassie and Jane. Now we don't know who Jane is. We know Cassie. We don't know Jane. Jane's a Jane Doe probably until she comes forth. Okay. We will show that the defendant used lied, drugs, threats, and violence to force them to have sex with him in front of male escorts. He called them freak offs, wild king nights, or hotel nights. His staff organized flights, cars, hotels. At his direction, his staff set up the room with lubricant, lighting. Staff came in with cash to pay the escorts and drugs. I feel like them pointing out that he not only was, having his own sexual stuff, they were paying hookers, paying escorts, paying people for sex is illegal. Paying people for sex is illegal. I would not even want to be involved in that if I was the staff, because you can then be held liable too. Okay. It says he made them take MDMA or Molly and ecstasy. It made them sick, but also sexually aroused. He directed every step. He expected the women to appear to enjoy themselves. He touched himself. He masturbated and recorded the events. Cassie was 19 when his song. Cassie tried to work on her music, but the defendant made her turn down many opportunities. She recorded, but he had the final say over the music she released. There was never another album. He hit her. Oh yeah, he hit Cassie in the head and dragged her by her hair. He stomped on Cassie's face in an SUV, then made her stay in a hotel for a week to hide the injuries. He set up freak-offs as often as once a week. She spent half her time. The defendant made an escort urinate in her. Girl, I said, what? The defendant made an escort urinate in her mouth. I said, bitch, what? When I saw that, I said, now, first of all, that is nasty. That is horrible. Okay. He said, as you will see in this trial, he beat her in the hallway of the hotel to drag her back into the freak off. Initially, she wanted to make him happy, but then she didn't want to. But the defendant made her. The consequences were severe. He beat her when he thought she took too long in the bathroom, defying him would end in violence. She fled, but he found her with the help of his inner circle. Cassie's career was in her hands. He told her he could destroy her career by releasing the video. And again, don't nobody look. If a hooker pissed in your mouth, don't nobody want that kind of stuff out. Okay. When he said to have a freak off, she knew she had no choice. She called the escort and put on the performance he wanted. Her safety depended on keeping him happy. It was a complicated relationship. Both were unfaithful, but only one had power. Because a part of it is Diddy's teams keep saying, oh, well, Cassie was this and that too. And their point is, even though Cassie had her own part to play in it, Diddy held the power. So we can't act like, it wasn't, him forcing her to do things, because he was more powerful than her. He made Cassie do his bidding in those dark hotel rooms. Cassie was not the only one. This was a pattern. Let me tell you about. Now, we don't know who was Jane. Let me tell you about Jane. She was a single mom that started spending time with him in 2020. That's recently. Wait a minute. Is Jane, can Jane be Carisha? Because wasn't him and Carisha together? The girl, I don't know. No, Gina. Maybe Gina. Okay, it may be Gina. She was a single mom that started spending time. No, because Gina was around years ago. Could it be Carisha? What if Carisha was the secret witness? Because Gina was around years ago. I think Gina was around even back when he was with Cassie. I don't know. We're gonna see. Again, she fell in love with him. He was seeing other women. One night he told Jane about freak offs and made it happen immediately. He took her to a hotel where an escort was on the way. He directed her step by step. Jane thought it was a one-time wild night. He was wrong. He continued. Okay, hey, you want a relationship? Jane wanted the escort to wear condoms, but the defendant did not let them. Not making me have unprotected sex with a hooker. Jane tried to make it through these nights without drugs. The first time she broke down into ecstasy to finish, she vomited, but he said, do it again. Jane found two men and invited them to join the freak offs so she could choose the man she'd be intimate with. The defendant discouraged her from working. He had the power to coerce her back into the hotel rooms. He threatened with her with the videos. Not even a year ago, he went to her house. Shout out a year ago. Went to her house. She was angry. She hit him. He became enraged. She tried to hide. She locked herself in the bedroom. He kicked it open. Then the bathroom. The bedroom door, the bathroom door, a closet, the guest bedroom. He kicked her to the ground. He did not let Jane be. He said, "You're not going to fuck up my night." He called up the escort to perform. Jane followed his instructions. His violence got him what he wanted. Cassie will tell you about the time that the defendant forced himself on her. Mia and employees will tell you how the defendant forced himself on her, hand up her dress, penetrating her amidst all this violence. He and his inner circle worked to cover up his crimes. The video at the LA hotel. Okay, the defendant offered the hotel security guards a wad of cash, a brown paper bag full with $100,000 in dollar bills. The inner circle kept Cassie in hiding for days, and that was after he beat her up on that video. For all of this, he is charged with multiple federal crimes, racketeering, and conspiracy. Cassie and Jane will tell you the most painful, and Cassie is 8 months pregnant. Cassie is 8 months pregnant. So even if she comes to speak, she'll be up in there, child, 8 months pregnant. Cassie and Jane will tell you of the most painful experiences of their lives. You'll hear from some of the defendant employees, including his personal assistant, Mia, who he said, he SA his assistant. Oh, Lord Jesus. You will hear from employee he forced into an SUV with a gun, and from a chef. They worked punishing hours at times without sleep. They bought drugs for him. They were expected to keep quiet. Some of these witnesses have already conceived settlements. Diddy is going to be broke in a minute. You will hear from the escorts. The defendant directed them and filmed it. And escorts saw the defendant assault Cassie and directed by her face during the freak off. You'll see with records, motels, damages, car services, whatever. You'll see texts from what the defendant tells staff to bring cash or escorts. And the fact that there are texts from him telling his staff to bring money to pay escorts, that's illegal right there. Okay. Again, you will see the text saying bring money for the hookers, and by Jane saying she did not want to do freak offs. You will see videos, and then you can hear the defendant provide directions to Cassie and Jane high on ecstasy. You will see video of a defendant brutally beating Cassie during a freak off in LA hotel. You will see photos of the damages, including 8 to 4 doors in Jane's home not even a year ago. The fact that a year ago he went to Jane's house and kicked in her doors is crazy. Because you told us in that, I'm sorry, Cassie, I didn't mean to do it. When the video came out, he went on the little video on IG, and he said, "I'm sorry, I'm better now." How are you better if you went and kicked in Jane's door last year? You will see what he had in his home: guns, med bag of drugs, and lube. You will see the agreement with the hotel guard, barring him from speaking after he paid him $100,000 for the video. We hear you will hear him manipulate Jane, saying she wanted it. His threats not to pay for her home and text her staff about it. Wait, where's the other ones? Okay. I ask you to pay attention to the evidence, follow the instructions of the law, use your common sense. You will reach the verdict of he is guilty. Okay. Now for the defense. Teeny, girl, I can't remember the name. Not Diddy's people is defending him. Okay, this is what they said. This case is about love, jealousy, money. They are trying to turn it into a racketeering case. It will not work. You are the jury. You will evaluate the witness, and finally the story can come out. This case isn't about what you heard on the news. Girl, but we've seen the video. Sean Combs is fascinating. He grew up in Harlem and built lawful businesses. He created a culture and produced music that changed the generation. Witnesses will share with you that he is a fascinating person and blah, blah, blah. You're drawn to him. If you want to climb in music and apparel and beverages, you want to be around Diddy. He gave people, jobs. I'm trying to paraphrase that. He gave people jobs to work at his companies or whatever. He had a vision that you had, blah, 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 blah. The text will show that he is 55 years old. He's going to be Sean Combs. I am Terry so-and-so. I am honored to represent him. The only people in this courtroom who will tell you about racketeering and prosecution, there's no conspiracy. The case is about Sean Combs' private sex life. The government has no business in that. These hard-working people were educated from Harvard to Howard University. He has a temper and got violent. He's not proud of it. We own it. He sometimes gets so jealous and angry, he's out of control. You will hear that he lied to his girlfriend. You may think he's a jerk or mean, but he's not tried for that. He's tried for running a racketeering enterprise. This is DV. DV is not trafficking. He had been charged with domestic violence. We would not be sitting through an 8-week trial. He is not guilty of these crimes. As the trial goes on, we are going to take on accountability. We would not shy away. Sean Combs had a bit of a different sex life. The alleged victims were all getting something from him. They are adults. They too must, girl, not trying to blame them. They must be held accountable for their lives, as does he. Okay, it was a free choice with pros and cons. You will evaluate the women. They made free choices every day for years. Ask yourself, what are all the ways the individual had? What are all the ways the individual had the ability to make these choices? Ask what is the person getting? Something they want. Girl, I can't believe they're trying to play they wanted it. That's what they wanted it. Okay. Jealousy drove choices of the victims. Not jealousy drove. You just said Diddy was crazy and jealous, but you not want to say jealousy drove the victims. Combs never married, but he is a many woman man. He is always in multiple relationships. He was not always honest. It drove primal jealousy. Sean Combs is extremely jealous. You might think it's hypocritical. They remained in multiple-year relationships with him. But people stay in toxic, abusive relationships. Okay, but they lawyers. Fine. These women were in love with him. Infidelity and jealousy drove the violence. Alcohol and drugs drove things, but he is not a racketeer. This case is about his relationship with Cassie and Jane. Who was Jane? You hear about swinger parties. They will testify about things that should not have been heard in front of the courtroom that he liked to watch. You may not like that, but you are not here to judge him for his sexual preferences. A wealthy rapper paid for these women's homes and vacations. He is not charged with being a flawed individual. These women fought to be with him. Cassie, I expect you will hear from her this week about 11-year relationship. Combs was with Kim Porter, the mother of his kids. He continued with her until her death in 2018. His fights with Cassie were about cheating. It was toxic. They loved each other. Cassie would tell you about the jealousy of Kim Porter, then Gina. So maybe, well, I'm guessing that Jane isn't Gina because they didn't call her Jane. So whoever Jane is, it is because they now mentioned Kathy's name, they mentioned Kim Porter name, they've now mentioned Gina name. So Gina can't be Jane because if they are trying to keep someone as a Jane Doe, they would not say her name. So Jane is still somebody else. The day of the hotel hallway jealousy was on display by the bank 10 years ago. You will see it later today. But Calm is indefensible. The video was not evidence of sex trafficking. Cassie walked out of the hotel room with 2 bags. Calm came down the girl. We seen it, whatever. What causes a fight about a phone? Phone keep the secrets of infidelity. As soon as he gets the phone, he sits down. He's visibly disgusted. Cassie calls security. You will hear from them later today. The girl, anyway, they said it was her and not whatever. I want to get to the testimony. Hold on. Let me scroll down. But let me see. Because they mentioned Jane. Jane did it for the cuddle. She wanted to make him happy. She was unable to resist him emotionally. There was a phone call in November 2023. Even after it, she flew out to see him many more times. It was toxic, but she was willing to do it. Being a willing participant in your sex life is not sex trafficking. She was definitely, anyway, because we don't know who Jane is. But I feel like there's a part where they start interviewing the security guard. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so LAPD officer Israel Flores is sworn in. They're talking about what happened at the hotel. They say, what happened on March 5th, 2016? I was told of the 6th floor. There, I recognized Sean Combs. He was there wearing a gray sweater. What is your title? Assistant Director of Security. Let me show you a photo of the house thing. We'll need that. What kind of incident did you respond to? All kinds. We are a couple suicides there. We're prepared incidents, blah, blah, blah. Child. No. He says, I got a report of a woman in distress on the 6th floor. I closed the security base and checked the cameras. There was an African-American man pacing back and forth. I didn't see a female. I rushed there. What did you see on the 6th floor? Mr. Combs in a towel and some light colored socks. He's a rapper, producer, and Cassie's on the floor. Shows him photos. He says that is they were arguing. They had to take it back to the room, and that broken vase would be charged to the room. Kathy said she wanted her phone, her bag. Miss Kathy said she wanted to leave. Mr. Combs said, you're not leaving. I saw inside of the room a male, black, wearing dark clothing. What did Diddy do after Kathy left? He called me. He was holding a stack of money, not to tell anyone. What did you say? I said, I don't want your money. Okay, I don't want the money. He said, where did Cassie go? She left. A car put up. She left in a black car. Was there a driver? He said 7 feet. No, wait. I want to keep going. He said, we went up to Mr. Combs' room to remind him of hotel rules. He opened the door and grabbed the phone and says, are you recording me? I pinned him to the wall. I took photos of the broken vase to tell them to come clean it up. I went to write the incident report. My report with my name on it. Then, did you review a video? He said, yes. He shows in the video. No audio. Okay. We know what happened. The whole fight thing. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to go over that. He said, what did you add to the incident report after you reviewed the video? I described the video. What else did you do with the video? I recorded 2 videos of it with my phone to show my wife at home. The fact that the police people, okay, saw the video and the policeman screen recorded the thing on a cell phone to show his wife. Now that is crazy. What that means is he saw it His wife saw it. So more people knew about that tape back then 2016. Which is crazy. He said, I did not work the next day. I had the next 2 days off. When you came back in, did you look for the video? He said, I did. But it was gone. He said, did you ever see it again? He said, yes, recently. And that was what it is. So the fact that, they kept on saying that the video was gone, what CNN played was an edited version. I wonder, where is the cop's copy of the original? Because if he left and Diddy paid somebody else to not share it, the cop should still have the original on the cell phone. That's weird. Okay. He then asked him about if Diddy attacked him. He said no. Were there any other law enforcement involved? He said no. You videoed for your wife and kept it, right? He said I did, but you never called the police. Said they were not called because he was security back then. The other jury, Ms. Combs, said to Cassie, "You're not leaving," but your report did not say that, right? At the point I did not believe it was right, girl. At the point I did not believe it was a significant fact. I'm not going to put it back down and back and forth. I don't even like that he saw they were fussing and fighting, and he never called the actual police. He only recorded the video to probably make money. And even though he did not take money from Diddy that night, I still feel like, well, you still held the information. You didn't tell anybody. And the following day, it was 2 days. If it was gone, why not say something then? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like all of it is still like Diddy was doing something then. Even him paying someone to take away the video shows his intent to hide things, to do bad things, to be abusive, to be forcing Cassie to do things, and she does not want to do it. And then she's like, oh, what I'm going to do? I'm going to get beat up. So I don't know why his team feels like the video is not valid, which is weird to me. Now, another part, I'm going to scroll down. What is it? He asked me on when he offered you money, what did he say? That he didn't want anyone to know about it, pretty much. Which way Mr. Combs dragging Cassie back towards the room? So again, we've already seen the video. We now have proof that he tried to pay off security. We have proof that it was a freak off happening in the room. We have proof that Cassie wanted to leave. He did not want her to, but she ended up leaving anyway. I feel like, sir, you did that shit. Okay, you did it. What for and why? Now, the male dancer who was in the hotel room. Okay. The man said, my boss called me and said he couldn't find any of our black dancers, so I could go to a bachelorette party at the hotel. With due respect, a little stripper dance. He said she was in the hotel room in a red wig, stockings, and sunglasses. She gave me a few $100. The room had red couches, Astroglide, a lubricant. There was a man on the right side of the room. The man had on a white robe and a bandana over his face, below his eyes, and a baseball cap. From his voice, I knew it was Diddy. So Diddy is over there in a bandana and a hat. Okay, a baseball hat. But watching what was going on. What did he say? That he was into importing and exporting. He said he was having problems with my boss. Objection, blah, blah. He said to give them my phone number. I did. Kathy called me and asked for a photo. She called me to go back. I did it for a few hours, and then a few times after that. Combs was always present. Yes. Any locations, different locations, like that. What name were you to say when you were there? Black. I would send her vulgar text messages. Like what? You want me to say it? Give me an example. I want to fuck you right now. How often do you use baby oil? Every time. Okay. Sean Combs said we didn't have the baby oil on. He said, y'all slow down. Separate from each other. One time he tried to have us role play like we had just met at an airport. We weren't good, so we skipped that. What direction did he give you? He tell me to stop. To step off, back off. How many times, if any, were you told to urinate on cat? Child, that is what? For what? He said they told me to not. They told me not to do it all at once. What happened afterward? They leave me waiting for hours. The whole thing might go on for 10 hours. 10 hours. They were headed to the hotel. They said to go in 30 minutes. It was the first time he opened the door as himself, dressed in a suit, no mask. How did things change? She didn't feel. Who, if anyone, recorded Mr. Combs with a cell phone and a camcorder? He took a photo of my license for insurance. Okay. He was threatening me. Once I went and Kathy was slumped over, he said it's not going to happen this time. Did Mr. Combs offer you drugs? Molly, I guess it's called. I don't do drugs, MDMA. I think I went out and handed out $100 bills. How did Molly make you feel? Sick and euphoric and like an idiot. Handing out $100 bills. Who was present? A guy who told me he was an actual escort. He was having sex with Kathy at her apartment. He had everybody fucking Cassie. The fact that one male danced to fucking Cassie, but also know about an escort girl. Anyway, he asked what? No, wait, let me go back up. Again, a guy who told me he was an actual escort. He was having sex with Cassie at her apartment. The guy was looking at Sean, and Diddy said, "Don't you be fucking looking at me." What did he look like? Black guy, kind of skinny. We exchanged phone numbers. Have you seen him in 10 years? No. Did it ever seem you were not the first person there? Yes. Half used Astroglide. Tiles on the floor. Okay. After the $100 bills, did you see them again? I couldn't do it anymore. What did you get paid when you couldn't perform? Nothing. But I never asked for money. I was happy to get involved with people with such notoriety. But after I saw Diddy hit Cassie, I couldn't do it anymore. What was the Combs saying as he met Cassie? Oh no, I think he meant hit Cassie. He said, "Bitch, when I tell you to come over, you come over." I didn't know what to do. Did you intervene? He said, "No, I knew that the changes that there were bodyguards." What's next? He said, "Are you ready to continue? Did you try? I don't recall. Did you see them again?" I thought I had developed some sort of friendship with Cassie. I may have been speculating. I went there. I heard him slapping her. He walked out in a towel. She ran to me. I asked, "Why are you staying with this guy?" Combs, oh, objection. Hearsay, whatever. She said it was okay. Was that all? Wait a minute. Okay. Let me show you a text message chain between you and Cass. Is it accurate? He said yes. A male review show. You were a manager, a stripper. Yes. A hooker. That's correct. Your job was built up to it. Yes and no. I go with girl, whatever. Did the company open fake business after? Where is it, child? Okay, boom. Kathy told you to say the name Black. He said yes. Your boss told you someone wanted a black male stripper. He said yes. They was put. She was wearing a wig. She handed him money. Handed him $4,000. $4,000. $4,000. Okay. Again, handed me $4,000 before any oil rubbing. Correct. She had on heels and dark glasses. Where did the money come from? Her hands. You were wearing a New York City Police Department uniform, right? He said, I bought a New York PD t-shirt. You took the oil off in front of Cassie. The oil knocked all my clothes off. She said, it's my birthday. It appears she's enjoying herself. He said, well, yeah. What's your position? Diddy was really watching him fun. He said missionary. I was like, did that just happen? She asked for a photo. I do not know if Sean Combs asked for it. And then that was it. They'll pick up tomorrow. Is this it? Wait. I think that was it. The fact, look, the whole fact, okay, the whole fact that Diddy was around here paying hookers to bang Cassie, the fact that some of the men knew that he was abusing Cassie, the fact that the security guard of the hotel had proof of the abuse, that's proof that for years, because if that's what he got away with just with Cassie, if that's how we see that male hookers, were used to having sex with her while he watched, while he filmed in a corner with a hat on and a bandana. Okay, if they're paying hookers $4,000, $100, this and that and that, this, and there's no condom, there's always Astroglide or whatever. I feel like I don't get how they're trying to make it seem like this is just their fun, because technically Diddy's directing it all. How was Cassie? She's the one being used by Diddy and the hookers. So I feel like this is going to be a long trial, because everybody on the prosecution's witness stand is going to probably say Diddy did this, 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 and this, and the defense is going to be, well, they all wanted it. No one was forced. It's not racketeering. It's not sex trafficking. I do think it is, because if you took her from state to state, across the lines of states, countries, and whatever, go to jail. Okay, Diddy, go to jail. Okay, do not go past go. Do not collect $20. Go to prison immediately. And even though it's only day one of trial, and we heard from again 2 male escorts and a cop. Well, he's a cop now. He was security back then. Who proved he paid $100,000 for the video. I was paid to be a sex worker for him. That alone is illegal. If you're paying people to bang Cassie from state to state, that is the definition of record girl RICO. RICO. Anyway, I don't think this needs to go 8 weeks. I really don't. It's probably gonna do that because they have so many witnesses for the prosecution and the defense. But I'm like, even on day one, Cassie said I didn't want to do it. Not today, not ever. Also, Cassie's husband, where is he at? Because Alex Fine child was in court today. I think they thought that she may testify. And so maybe he was there to, make sure that if she did testify, that way we're saying. I can't click on nothing. Boom. Where's Alex at? Boom. Alex was there. That's her husband in the black shirt with shades or whatever. I feel like having to go to court to hear about your wife who's 8 months pregnant with a child. You have 2 daughters already, and I think she's pregnant with a son. Having to hear stuff that is being said, the video playing of her being beaten or whatever, him being strong enough to even be there. You know what I'm saying? Because if Cassie can't be there, bitch, I'm gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Even when they said that, Diddy's daughters who were there, they left before the testimony began. I don't know why the daughters are there. I would not want to hear about my daddy freaky tales. Okay. Now again, they're all 18. Okay, they're all 18. All 3 are 18. But the girl left. I think the son stayed because the sons are older. The sons probably do work themselves. But the girls left before the details came out, and I was like, I don't want it. And again, everyone deserves that day in court, but I feel like just from the sheer information from the hookers, from the video, from the security, I feel like I would want to spare my kids a trial. You know what I'm saying? I would. Like, what deal can I get? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and I get the girls came to the trial. The girls probably like, we want to show support for our daddy. And that's fine. I don't mind the fact that the girls want to support their father, but I still feel like I don't like the fact that Diddy, so they said what Diddy at the court, he was in the spirits, whatever, giving hearts, you know what I'm saying, the heart, how you a heart? You know, hearts or whatever, and all that from across the room and whatnot. I would be like, you know what? I don't want my daughters to see and hear this stuff. Okay? If they see or hear it, it's gonna be from somebody else, not from me. They can Google it, but I would say no. Girls, you know, don't come to the trial. I know y'all love me, and that's cool. And because that has to feel horrible to hear about your dad being abusive to women. Because I feel like if you know for a fact that he beat Cassie, you know for a fact he beat your mama. You know what I'm saying? Because Cassie wasn't the first or the last that he put his hands on. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Diddy wanting this, and I get, you know, again, everybody deserves a fair trial. So I'm not trying to say like, oh, this, you know, say fuck it. But did he know he did this shit? He know he abused Cassie. He know he did have these sexual escapades or whatever. And a part of me feel like he know eventually Cassie did not want to participate, but she did anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I think when you know you did some things wrong, spare your kids. You got these young daughters who are like fresh in college or whatever. I think Shannon's going to college. I don't know, but fresh out of high school. You know, they're, you know, about to be freshmen in college. You know what I'm saying? Your youngest, the youngest girl, who when she gets older, she, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, spare, because we didn't need none of this. Even Cassie daughters have to find out what they mom went through. Because I'm like, the moment it said that he had an escort pissing her, I said, oh God. Oh God. You know, so I feel bad for all the kids that have to hear what happened. Diddy kids having to hear what he did. Cassie kids having to hear what she, even the Jane girl who have to hear things too. You know what I'm saying? Now them sons to me, they are aware of some shit. You know? Yeah, I don't know. You know, I feel like even when you love your parent, to wrap your mind around things they did that you know is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's like the daughters probably feel like Diddy a monster. Like he even if he's a great father to them, he is a horrible man to the women in his life. Okay. Thank you for super chat, Keisha. You think Quincy thinks he did not beat or off his mom, or is this just support his siblings? I think the sons, that, you know, Quincy, Justin, and Christian, I think they are all old enough and around him enough to not be oblivious to his violent ways. I feel like someone like Diddy, who we now know to have this temper, to be a reactionary monster, I think they probably have heard him fussing, cussing in one point or the other. And even if when they were younger, they didn't know what was happening, I think now you're like, okay, when I would see mom laying down because she's sore, if I would see mom with a hat on, if I would see mom was, you know, with glad, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that's why mom always wore shades. That's why mom sometimes face was, you know what I'm saying? You remember stuff like, okay, because this is what they were going through. You know what I'm saying? And even his team trying to make it seem as if, well, through all of this, he was still with these women. They were still in relationships. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't negate the fact that he did stuff. So I think Quincy accepts Diddy as his father. And so the same way that the other kids are supportive, I think he is too. Even though he's the oldest and he's technically not Diddy's bio child, I still feel like Quincy looks at Diddy as his daddy. You know, so for him, I don't think he sees any difference in supporting him like his siblings. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like Quincy, Justin, and Christian are well aware of the fact that if Diddy beat Cassie, he also, you know, abused their mothers, and that is Misa and Kim, because Misa is Christian. Misa is Justin's. Misa Justin's mama. Then Kim was Christian and Quincy's mom, and then of course the girls, and then even for the youngest girl's mom, I'm sure she went through things with Diddy as well. So it's like I would want to spare my kids this case, because even though the cameras aren't there, all of this information is just out there, all of it, and even the little stuff that we heard today, it doesn't make Diddy seem any less guilty. Someone saying, well, no, that's just his private sex life and what he like. Abusing people is not private. That's diabolical. Okay. And once you put forth, he had the power to force them to just give in and do what he wanted and stay. Because if every time I left you, you found me, I'ma stop leaving. Because you keep finding me and then beat me up. I almost hope that Cassie doesn't have to testify, but see, she's 8 months pregnant. Even the fact that it's now a known fact that, because look, I am not into. There's no bodily fluid that comes out of our bodies that I want in my mouth. Okay, period. That's not my zhush. Okay, let alone some urine. Okay, that ain't my thing. So I feel like even the world knowing that happens, because we've heard people say, "Oh, some folk like to get peed on or whatever," but I never thought people because is they clean? But even the fact that things that she did are now being made public, so it's almost like what he threatened her with happened. I'm gonna release these tapes, and she would go along with it because she did not want these embarrassing sexual escapades being, out here. And now it's out here. So I really hope that all of this does not happen and he gets off. Now, again, I don't know if he's going to get a lot of time, but I do feel like give a good 5 years. Okay, if you can't get him for the 20, 30 years or whatever, can he at least do 5? Because if you now let folk know that you pay, male hookers to pee on me and whatever, you need to go sit down in prison for some time. Okay, today if ever. So I don't know. Okay, but we will see that at the end of this 6 to 8 week thing what happened. And I think this is only day one. So I can't imagine what other staff would say, what other workers may say. Will Diddy take a stand? You know what I'm saying? Hell, who we don't know. What's the list of people around here? But what Kid Cudi speak of that, Kid Cudi he blew Kid Cudi car back in the day. So we should look. What if Jane is like Lorianne Gibson? Like I'm wondering who was Jane. Diddy may be threatening the sons to show up to court or lose their inheritance. Who knows? I would think lots of men would turn their backs on their dad at some point after treating their mom so bad. But that's the thing. I don't think any of them feel they may really think he didn't do that to my mama. You know what I'm saying? They may really believe this only happened with Cassie and these folks here. He didn't do that to my mom. So that's the only, because of that, the daughter should not be there either. I think they think this thing with Cassie, which is that. Now, if other people, if other staff come to the witness stand and they say, yeah, we saw him also beating up Kim Porter. I think if there's any testimony on the stand where they say, well, yes, he beat up Kim. If the defense, well, yeah, he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, a part of this is they can now say, well, he did beat up on Cassie because Cassie's there. He did have this violent whatever with Jane or whoever. I'm saying, but because Kim's deceased, no one may not speak of what happened to her because she isn't here. And for the most part, I feel like, with Misa showing up, the new girl, Love Mama showing up or whatever, I think they are showing up because he's the money. For the most part, the people I see, the people I follow, they're like, man, fuck Diddy. I also said fuck Diddy. And while I'm pissed that he seemingly ruined music for me, I will still listen to bad boy artists. Only because I don't want him to also fuck up the music for me. Okay? I won't listen to his stuff, but I'm like, I don't want to cancel out all the artists he worked with. You know what I'm saying? So I am for sure of Diddy. I absolutely feel like he's guilty. That's my personal opinion about what it is. But what I do notice is we really only see his family supporting. We haven't seen anybody like publicly support him or whatever. At least anyone in the industry. As far as I can see. But again, I think the kids, they may be, even if whatever they saw was just, that's normal to them. If we've always seen him yelling and cussing and fussing, that's normal to us. That's how he always is. So they may not even see it as an issue. You know what I'm saying? So again, I do wonder who else will testify. I may not go live tomorrow for a recap. I may wait and do it on Wednesday because I need more time to read through the tweets. Because there was a lot of tweets today are. So I may, unless something huge happens in the case tomorrow, we shall see. But yeah, it's going to be an everyday thing to see what's said, what proof they have, what Diddy says, if he speaks out in the trial. Will the daughters, will the kids keep, what if as day by day go by and more evidence is put forth in court? Will they start thinking, well, damn, Daddy, you lying? Because you told us, you know what I'm saying? So they may want to come to, hear the truth. Because again, it's not televised. So the only way to hear what's going on is either to be there or watch the tweets. So, and it may be hard for mama too to hear about her son being nasty, child. And again, I don't knock anyone's kink because everyone has a kink. You know what I'm saying? It seems as if Diddy's kink is he likes watching porn live. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with watching live porn, but you can't force people to do it. You can't use intimidation. You can't use abuse, violence. Okay? That's the issue I have. Everyone has a kink level. People like what they like, but I think the issue is with how he wielded his power against a young artist that was on his label. Okay? And how all of that turned out. So, shall see? I don't know. Anyway, y'all, I'm done. I told y'all all we had with Diddy, well, and these people too. Okay. Y'all make sure to like the video. One thing. Like the video. Girl, where I'm at? Well, I'm back. Make sure to like the video. Okay, subscribe and stuff. I will have content up tomorrow. It may not be no live, but I will probably have at least a premiere up. I am still reviewing Basketball Wives, so that will be up tomorrow. But yeah, y'all watch the other content. okay, and be around here for your girl, okay? Look, I want everyone to have a safe night, a good night, or whatever. And if you run across Diddy in a parking lot, run, okay? Y'all, I love you all. Have a good night. Bye.